All right, everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Always.
Today, we're looking at something pretty interesting. It's about how avoiding COVID-19 might actually help slow down, well, the aging process.
Yeah.
I know, right? Sounds a little crazy, but that's literally the title of the paper we're diving into today. Avoiding COVID-19 may help slow down the aging process.
Wow, that's pretty straightforward.
So we're going to break down the science and see what we can all learn from it, stuff you can actually use.
I think this paper does a really good job of explaining how COVID-19 can impact aging, and not just in the short term.
Yeah, it's definitely not like, oh, I feel a year older after my birthday.
Right.
This is like your body aging faster,
Yeah.
like deep down at the cellular level.
That's a great analogy, actually. It's kind of like comparing a car's mileage to how well it's actually running, right?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, like two cars from the same year can have totally different lifespans depending on how well they've been taken care of.
Yeah.
And COVID, it turns out, can be pretty rough on the engine.
So how does getting COVID actually speed up the aging process? The paper talked about three main ways, right?
Yes, and they all kind of get into the nitty-gritty of how our cells work. So the first one they call epigenetic aging.
Okay.
And just imagine your DNA as a giant instruction manual for your body,
Yeah.
right? And epigenetics are like sticky notes on that manual.
Okay.
They tell your cells which instructions to read and when, and COVID can mess with those sticky notes, basically making your cells act older than they are.
So it's like, even if your DNA doesn't actually change, COVID can change how your body uses the information.
Exactly. It's not about changing the hardware, but more like altering the software that runs your cells.
Hmm.
And you know what they found? The study found that for people over 50 who got COVID, this epigenetic aging actually increased their biological age by an average of 2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
Oh, wow.
Which, think about it, that's like your risk of heart disease or diabetes suddenly jumping up to the level of someone 2 years older.
Yeah, that's not how I want to spend my time.
Right.
All right, what about the second way COVID impacts aging? The whole telomere thing. Can you explain that one?
Yeah, telomeres, right. Imagine them like protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes.
Okay.
You know, those tightly wound bundles of DNA.
Mhm.
Every time a cell divides, its telomeres shorten a bit. It's like a clock ticking down. And COVID, what it does is it speeds up that shortening process, leading to, you guessed it, faster aging.
So it's basically shaving years off our lives, but like on a microscopic level.
In a way, yes. Shorter telomeres mean our cells just can't repair and replicate as efficiently, which, that impacts everything from how well our wounds heal to how well our immune system fights back.
Wow.
And what's kind of scary is they found telomeres shortening even in people who had mild COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so the third one, I'm guessing, is inflammation, right? Since pretty much everyone's felt that firsthand with COVID.
Absolutely. It's like, inflammation is your body's alarm system.
Right.
When you get injured or sick, inflammation kicks in to fight off invaders and repair the damage.
But chronic inflammation, which, scientists call inflammaging, is like that alarm going off nonstop. It just
Yeah.
wears your body down over time.
So COVID basically puts that alarm system into overdrive, like speeding up the wear and tear that happens as we age.
You got it. And this heightened inflammation from COVID, it can damage tissues and organs, speeding up the development of, well, all those age-related diseases, heart disease, things like that.
And this isn't just about, like, our bodies in general, right? COVID messes with our brains, too.
You're absolutely right. COVID, it can trigger changes in the brain that, well, they mirror the changes you see in natural aging, but at a much faster rate. Think of it like memory problems, difficulty focusing, that brain fog that people talk about.
Right. That's something I usually associate with, well, much older people, not people my age.
And that's what's so alarming. Even young individuals who recover from severe COVID, the study showed they had signs of brain aging, similar to, well, much older adults. So even if you're young and think you've bounced back from COVID, there could be this hidden aging process happening in your brain.
It's a possibility, yes. It's definitely something to consider.
It is unsettling. But hey, at least by understanding all this, we can start to make better choices to protect ourselves, right?
That's the key takeaway, I think. Knowledge is power.
So dodging COVID can help us hit the pause button on some of that aging stuff. But it feels like we've been hearing about this virus forever. What's the best way to actually avoid it now?
Well, you're right. There's been so much information, it's hard to know what to focus on. But this paper really points to one thing that's super effective. N95 masks.
So not just any mask will do.
Well, any mask is better than nothing, but N95s, they offer the best protection. They're designed to filter out those tiny particles, including viruses like COVID.
I feel like there's been some pushback against masks, even though the science seems pretty clear. Does the paper talk about that at all?
It does. It actually talks about the importance of public health messaging. The paper specifically mentions encouraging parents to, teach their kids that N95s are cool, not something to be ashamed of.
Yeah, like make it trendy or something.
Exactly. It's about changing how people see them, making the best protection, the norm.
If we can make wearing the best masks seem cool, especially for younger people, I think that can make a big difference.
Totally. And along with masks, staying up to date on vaccinations is key. Vaccines, they really reduce the risk of getting seriously ill, which, we now know is crucial for avoiding those long-term aging effects.
So what about the basics, like washing your hands and avoiding crowds? Does that stuff still matter?
Absolutely. Those basic hygiene practices, they're still so important. They might seem simple, but they're super effective at preventing the spread of all kinds of germs,
No.
including COVID.
It's like we're building up layers of protection, right? Masks, vaccines, hygiene, it all adds up.
Precisely. And beyond those external things we can do, there's a lot we can do to help our bodies from the inside, too.
You mean like lifestyle choices, things like diet and exercise?
Exactly. Having a healthy lifestyle, it's like giving your body the best tools to repair and defend itself. Eating a good diet, lots of fruits, veggies, and those anti-inflammatory foods is key.
So it's not just about avoiding the virus, it's about giving our bodies the resources to age gracefully no matter what happens, right?
I love that you said it perfectly. And, don't underestimate stress management, things like meditation or yoga. Stress can really contribute to inflammation and speed up aging, so finding healthy ways to cope is essential.
It sounds like it's all about taking a holistic approach, protecting ourselves from the outside and the inside.
That's a great way to put it. And all of these things work together to make you more resilient, better able to fight off COVID, and better able to handle the aging process.
This has been really eye-opening. Is there anything else we should keep in mind before we move on?
I think the most important thing to remember is that knowing more is always better. The more we understand about how COVID and aging are connected, the better choices we can make for our health.
It's not about just blindly following what we hear in the news. We have to understand the science so we can make the best decisions for ourselves.
Exactly. And it's not about being scared, it's about being empowered. We have more control over our health and how we age than we might think. And this research, it gives us real steps we can take to make a difference.
So instead of feeling overwhelmed by all the information out there, we can use it to take charge of our health and how we age.
Exactly. This research really shows how important it is to be proactive about our health. It's about making choices that not only protect us from things like COVID, but also help us stay healthy and strong in the long run.
It's about adding life to our years, not just years to our lives.
Beautifully said. I think that's something for our listeners to ponder.
We've covered a lot today. Science of aging, how COVID can speed things up. There's one more thing that really stood out to me from the paper. They talked about advocating for others, especially kids, when it comes to all this prevention stuff.
Oh, absolutely. That's so important. I mean, we all know how tough it can be to change people's habits, or to get them to do something new, even when it's good for them.
Right.
But with kids, we have a chance to, build those good habits right from the start.
So instead of just telling them, wear a mask or get vaccinated, we got to make it feel cool and empowering.
Exactly. Kids are so smart, and they're often way more open to trying new things than, us grown-ups.
Yeah.
If we can make it about being strong and healthy instead of just, following rules, they'll be more likely to actually do it.
Like that N95s are a cool idea from the paper. It's about making those healthy choices fun, not scary.
Exactly. And this whole advocacy thing, it goes beyond just our own families,
Yeah.
We can advocate for, better public health policies, easier access to health care, just making it easier for everyone to make healthy choices.
So it's about the bigger picture too, right? We're all connected.
Exactly. It all comes back to what we've been talking about. Aging, it's complicated. And COVID has definitely made it even more complicated.
But we're not helpless. We can learn, we can make good choices, and we can speak up for what's right.
That's the spirit. This whole deep dive, it's been about discovering things, understanding the risks of COVID, and what we can do about it.
Yeah, avoiding COVID isn't just about avoiding a virus. It's about taking care of our future selves.
And it's about remembering that health is a journey, not a finish line. We can do this. We can figure this all out and make things better for ourselves and everyone else.
I love that.
Yeah,
Well, that was a fascinating look at COVID-19 and its impact on aging. Lots to think about, for sure.
definitely.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Stay curious, stay informed, and take care of yourselves.